we've got back building, which means we're seeing the showers and storms building back behind it, continuing to just pummel this part of Jackson County. And look, when we talk about this rainfall, the rainfall totals are incredible. And so I'm kind of surprised we haven't had more flooding issues, because some of these areas have picked up 6 inches of rain over into 4 inches, almost 6 inches just south of Escatawpa. And then if we move in even closer, again, what you'll notice is all of the heavy rainfall that's coming down. We talk about it a lot, but these are very efficient, 7.5 inches, 3.5 inches. These are very efficient rainmakers. So when they're coming down, they're dropping a lot of rain in a very short amount of time. And that is, again, where we do tend to see the flooding issues and the flash flooding. So the radar right now, again, still showing that we do have that tornado warning, again, in effect for Moss Point and that southeastern part of Jackson County until 3:30. So that's the tornado warning. And now we've got a flood advisory that has just come out. Let's take a look at that. You'll see the green that has shown up. Again, severe thunderstorm warning until 3 o'clock, flash flood warning until 6:15, and then the severe thunderstorm warning again until 3:30. So Jackson County really getting pummeled right now. We do have reports out of Moss Point for a little bit more on that information, because it does look like this tornado. I just want to reassure everyone who is in that path of that storm that it does look like it has lifted, but the tornado warning is for the southeastern part of Jackson County. And like I said, it looks like it has lifted, but we're going to keep an eye on it. We've got more information, though, on the damage caused by what does look like a tornado that moved through Moss Point with Dave Elliott. So let's head over to the news desk.
All righty, thanks so much, Carrie. Of course, we have all of our news crews heading over to Jackson County, into Moss Point, where most of this damage is being reported. We're trying to get Jackson County Coroner Bruce Lind on the phone with us right now. I think Bruce had an opportunity to see much of this firsthand and to kind of assess the situation down there. I haven't been told whether or not we have Bruce on the phone. Bruce, can you hear me?
Really bad where I'm at, but I can hear you.
Yeah. Well, where are you? First of all, exactly where are you?
So I'm sitting in the middle of Main Street in downtown Moss Point in front of the First Baptist Church. It is a complete mess down here right now. There's people that were trapped in their vehicles. There's 8 people trapped in the Emergency Marine Bank. They're all okay. I've helped a few ladies from their cars that was flipped, and they're sitting in my truck. Moss Point just arrived on scene. We have a lot of live wires down. The weather's still really bad where we're at right now. I'm anxious to get over to some of these houses to make sure that nobody's trapped inside, but we're not to where we can at the moment.
The chatter you're hearing from EMA, Earl Etheridge, the EMA director, and just Jackson County law enforcement and all of the emergency responders, what kinds of things are you hearing, Bruce?
Well, I was driving down Main Street and I got caught in the tornado, shattered the window of my truck and pulled me to the side of the road. So as soon as it was coming through, I was trying to get out of my vehicle as fast as I could. I've not heard anything from anybody yet. We just tried to, there was a passing full of officer passing by at the time. I'm sitting in his truck at the moment, and Moss Point's just pulling up on scene. He's trying to get to it.
Yeah, we're looking at an MDOT traffic.com camera right now. I think that might be Highway 90. Highway 90 in Moss Point, and the rain just looks, I'm seeing in the background, how severe are the winds right now, Bruce?
The winds at the moment are not as severe as they was when the tornado was coming through. When I'm telling you that the roofs and everything are going off these churches and the whole, it's a lot of, brick and everything going off these buildings. And, it has snapped these power poles in two. And when I say flip cars, literally these cars were flipped. So, emergency personnel are just pulling up. I can't even tell you the extent of this damage right now from where I'm sitting.
And you said you saw 8 to 10 vehicles and people who are finding themselves in a dangerous situation?
Well, there's 8 people trapped in the Emergency Marine Bank right now. They're all okay. I was able to speak to them through the window, but they are trapped inside because of the debris surrounding the building. The cars that have flipped, the ones that I've been able to get to, the people are okay. They're just very shook up. I've got them sitting in my truck. to keep them out of the rain until we can, get it safe enough where people can get to them and we can get them out of here. But this is just the spot I'm sitting in. I've not even ventured down to see how far this has gone or if there's people in these houses or anything like that. So, prayers for the city of Moss Point right now and these people that's affected. But
Yeah, and we all echo that here at WLOX. Again, we have our news crews are on their way to Moss Point. Carrie Duncan, our chief meteorologist, is here in the studio tracking this system. We're hearing it here in Harrison County right now. Bruce, how long ago was it when you first noticed that things had taken a turn for the worse and that this tornado had hit in Moss Point?
I was driving down Main Street North, right in front of the Merchants and Marine Bank, and I noticed that debris was kind of flying. I just thought the winds were bad, and then I noticed the cars in front of me pulling over, and by the time, I realized what was going on, we was right in the middle of it.
Okay, well, I know you, as an official with the county, are going to be helping EMA officials and all emergency responders over there. Sounds pretty chaotic just in the background, Bruce. I'm hearing on your phone. We're wishing everybody the best of luck. Thanks so much for giving us a bird's eye view and account of what's happening in Moss Point right now.
Yeah, that's no problem. I just want to make sure that people know to avoid this area right now and let the emergency personnel do their jobs because there's a lot of down lines.
Thank you, Bruce. We appreciate it. And we're going to go back over to Carrie Duncan right now to get us up to date on the different advisories and warnings that are in effect. Carrie?
All right, thanks a lot, Dave. We do still have that tornado warning in effect for another 12 minutes for Jackson County. And again, this was the warning that came out for Moss Point. And again, it does look like National Weather Service has confirmed that there was a tornado that touched down and has caused some major damage. As you just heard Bruce on the phone, there's also a severe thunderstorm warning and now a flash flood warning because the rain's not going anywhere. We also have reports via amateur radio that Moss Point High School has severe roof damage, and we're also getting a report this just in, numerous trees damaged, power lines down, and damage to houses and commercial buildings in Moss Point. And then we are seeing the tornado confirmed by picture and video by a storm chaser, and that was at 2:50, and then a report at 2:55. So watching that as we go back and take a look at what we're seeing, again, reminding everyone that we are continuing to watch this, but it does look like that tornado, would it be right in this area where we see this couplet moving toward Moss Point. So if you follow that, you'll notice that it does look like it lifts as it moves through, but we still have some gusty winds. Plus, this is the area that we would be watching with where it was and where it has moved now. And this is the current situation. But again, it's in a much less populated area down in southeastern Jackson County. And again, we're not seeing what looks like any type of rotation. That doesn't mean there's not gusty winds, but moving back again and tracking where that couplet was. Again, this is in the last 30 minutes. We're going to go back to the last 45 minutes so that we can see where it was. And again, you'll notice you can start to see this little bit of a hook, and I want to point that out to you. So this is where you can see that little bit of a hook echo, and then when you follow that, you're going to see that it does look like as we move forward in time, then you can also, again, we'd move this and that hook isn't necessarily as pronounced. However, that is where it's looking like we saw that couplet touch down, and then we saw it. If we move in a little bit closer and show you, let's zoom in on that, and so you can see in Moss Point near Bellevue Avenue, and let's go back a little bit and you'll see that looks like around Griffin Street where we saw some of the highest winds perhaps, and we will see that was at 58 mile per hour winds right there, and then move forward and you can really start to see the couplet that advances throughout Jackson County and through the city of Moss Point. So we go through and you'll see again, and this is where it looks like it was probably the worst, and this is again downtown, pretty much in the toward the downtown area, Bowen Avenue, Ellie Street, Bellevue Avenue, and putting some of the wind speeds on that, you're looking at 58 miles an hour, and then you have right next to it the 78 mile per hour winds. So again, this was a confirmed tornado on the ground. We have been seeing this very unsettled weather, and then we move forward and watch the track of that. And it looked like it, pretty much, it looks like it collapsed fairly quickly, but that wasn't before it did. It sounds like a good bit of damage, a lot of damage in the city of Moss Point. So then as we move through and show you again, this is from the last 45 minutes, and we're still seeing a lot of rain. So if we look at this on the radar, you'll notice this is where we see it moving through around 2:35, and really from this, it's hard to even see that there could have been a tornado. It was definitely, I would say it was probably fairly rain wrapped. It was very heavy rain. Bruce was even saying that, and the winds were, they were very high. We saw that 58 mile per hour going away from the radar, and then the I believe 78 mile per hour wind going toward the radar. So that's what, when you see those next to each other, that's how we know that it was a tornado, because that's what we call a couplet, and that is where you get the winds going one way and then the other, because you've got that circular motion. As far as tracking any type of debris, it is, let's see, looking like back in that area, if we back up and show some of that, around 2:30, there it is right there in Moss Point. This is what you look for, and this is an anomaly with the radar. So this is picking up, like he said, he started to see the debris flying. That's what this is picking up. So this is a debris tracker, and this is showing, again, along Bellevue and moving through the downtown and the city of Moss Point, and then really taking this, it looks like it's almost taking a little bit of a right turn, which is also something in meteorology that we look for, that if it takes a right turn, that's really a dangerous sign. And so it's looking like it is moving down toward the south and east, but it does begin to lift. However, we do still have more on the radar. We have a severe thunderstorm warning still for Jackson County, and you can see that we're just not getting any relief. The rain's not going anywhere. If anything, it's continuing to build back to the west. But again, we do still have that tornado warning in effect. Again, it is a confirmed and observed tornado. That is the white box around it, and that lets us know that it does have the history of producing a tornado. It has caused damage in the city of Moss Point. And so when you have those alerts, okay, we have Charlie. Let's go ahead and take a look at our our storm tracker. And this is headed down, it looks like the interstate, I'm assuming eastbound. They're in Jackson County. They're on, where'd you say they were? They're on I-10. Okay, I-10 eastbound in Jackson County. So again, it is raining there, and we are sending them. They're on the way to Jackson County into Moss Point right now. Again, that tornado warning until 3:30. And I also want to show you, because we've got some views from our tower cams. This is looking out over downtown Gulfport, and then we have our tower cam from Silver Slipper. It has gotten blown and knocked askew, but we also have this one from our IP Casino Resort and Spa tower cam. I really want to show you the Keesler Federal Credit Union one, because that one is, I'm looking at it live, and it is shaking with that storm that is moving. Again, there's a storm over also Harrison County, and so looking over into Jackson County, certainly it is very dark. If you are outside and you look east, it looks like doomsday to our east. Again, there is a flash flood warning in effect, and it says the storm in Jackson County will be reissued to a severe thunderstorm warning. So they are going to allow the tornado warning to expire. They're going to keep it as a severe thunderstorm warning. So you need to be in Jackson County in your safe space. You need to know where your safe space is. if you don't know, your safe space is going to be the most interior portion of your home. It is also going to be away from windows and doors. Please do not go outside. No video, no pictures are worth it. Once you know that you are safe and you get the all clear, that is the time when you can start to venture out. But like you heard Bruce, the power lines are possibly still live. Do not go near any downed power lines. We do not want for someone to make it through this event and then end up getting electrocuted from power lines. So power lines down are very dangerous. Plus, again, flash flooding is going to be a possibility because this rain just doesn't look like it is going anywhere. We have, again, that flash flood warning, that area highlighted in green. So what we'll do is show you where the flash flood is. You can see pretty much the entire southeastern part and almost all of Jackson County is in that flash flood warning. That's until 6:15. So this is radar and gauge indicated. We have had upwards of 7.5 inches of rain in parts of Jackson County. Look at this area. The Pecan community seeing a lot of rain, 4.7 inches, 5.6. There's that 7.5 just to the northwest of Moss Point. And then look, you get into Hickory Hills and it's still a lot of rain, but it's less than an inch. So this is a very concentrated area. Helena, 3.5 inches, but it is a large area along I-10. I would avoid I-10 with everything that I have that's headed eastbound. I know we have our storm tracker there right now. Doesn't look too bad, but in the rain, that's when the roads are very slick. People are slamming on brakes. Then there's a wreck, and then people start what they call rubbernecking. Everybody's looking, and then that distracts you from your driving, and then they start to have all of these pileups back behind that. So if you can avoid I-10, I definitely would. It is a mess. We have, again, a lot of rain that's fallen. We have heavy rain, and we have high winds. It is still very gusty, and we do have the severe thunderstorm warning. In fact, looking at our velocity right now, we do have, again, like I told you, if you're just tuning in, Moss Point was hit by a tornado, and that tornado does look like it has lifted. So the National Weather Service is going to allow that tornado warning to expire in the next 60 seconds, and then we are going to see that go to a severe thunderstorm warning. So there is a severe thunderstorm warning still in effect and still in place for Jackson County, and that is going to be until 4:30. So that's for another hour. You have to remember and you have to realize with a severe thunderstorm warning, at any time, a tornado can pop up out of that. So you've got to be on your P's and Q's. You've really got to stay weather aware, get to your safe space and ride this out. This line of storms and this storm complex already has the history of producing damaging tornadoes in the city of Moss Point. We have damage. It is confirmed. It's not a question. The National Weather Service says it was a tornado. They will be coming out. They'll survey to talk about how much damage it is. We also are getting reports of major roof damage to Moss Point High School and also, again, in the downtown area. So a severe thunderstorm warning with winds in excess of 60 miles per hour possible. And as we look at what's happening, that tornado warning, again, that has been now allowed to expire. So now we just have that severe thunderstorm warning and the flash flood warning, because again, we have seen anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of rain along that I-10 corridor in Jackson County. It has been relentless in the past 24 hours. Again, this is our storm tracker, and they are headed east on I-10 in Jackson County, headed toward Moss Point to be able to get us some video and to be able to help out, hopefully, and just get the information out. We are still under a severe thunderstorm warning, so you still have to be paying attention to the radar. When we look at some of these wind speeds, we're looking at 25 miles per hour, which I know doesn't sound like much, especially when you're comparing it to a 78 mile per hour wind, but 41 miles per hour, that is enough wind, and that's enough to do some damage. So just because you could be having damage doesn't necessarily mean that it is going to be a tornado. It could just be wind thunderstorm wind gust, and we're certainly thinking that that could be the case. So if we go back to the last 30 minutes and we look, we've certainly seen some winds moving just to the north of Pascagoula through Gulf Park Estates, some high winds. Some of those winds are clocked, if we look at that, you're looking at 59 miles per hour. So that is definitely severe thunderstorm criteria. And that again was about 15 minutes ago or so. And so now what we're seeing, this looks a little suspect down here, but it looks like hopefully it is just moving offshore in Jackson County off of Port-au-Change Road. Again, near Gravelines Bayou, but these winds are definitely whipping, and you have 60 mile per hour winds, and then you also have some 22 mile per hour winds in the opposite direction. So that is an area that we would watch, especially over parts of southern, the Fontainebleau area in Jackson County. As we move backwards, you'll notice that we see what looks like it's possibly a tornado trying to pop down, and hopefully it will get out over the water before that happens, but a lot of wind rushing into these storms and being pulled into the storms. So I know we're going to be more than likely seeing some of that wind damage as well in and around parts of South Mississippi. So these winds that are situated just off the coast now, 65 miles per hour. Again, we're looking at 63, where are we, 57. So all severe thunderstorm for sure. So I would say a small craft advisory, if not a gale warning, will probably be placed in effect out over the water. That looks like it's probably going to be a water spout off of the Port-au-Change Road and down in the Fontainebleau area. I don't believe there's any other road down. Oh, yeah, there is. Let's see. So this is down in the Ash Oak North Center, South Marsh Drive, Tantalon Drive. So these areas aren't seeing the gustiest of the winds, but the winds are rushing into that area that is situated just offshore. So our friends down in the Fontainebleau area of Jackson County are certainly seeing in the East Bellefontaine Road, Beach Boulevard, those areas are seeing some very gusty wind too. So again, the severe thunderstorm warning, we're still on air. Well, this looks like maybe seeing a little couplet here. Let's see, let's move in closer on this. This is, you're looking at, what road is that? Main Street. Again, Main Street, Bellefontaine Road, Pinehurst Drive, where we do have a little bit of a couplet there. Maybe, let's see if there's anything showing up on our debris. Yes, we are. So more than likely, we certainly could be seeing another tornado here around Port-au-Change Road. Again, we are under a severe thunderstorm warning, so that means that anyone in the severe warned area, a tornado can pop up at any time. So we're looking at Peabody Road, Biddix Evans Drive, Mary Mahoney Drive, Rubo Shanes, and then Port-au-Change Road, certainly seeing some of this with the precipitation and possibly looking at this as possibly seeing some debris with this. With this, it could be a tornado, could be a funnel, but it's certainly an area that we want to keep an eye on. It does look like it's starting to move out and move south of the area. So that is certainly the best news that we have with that system. But notice we're starting to see more back building now all the way into Hancock County and also into Harrison County and even George County getting in on the action. As far as the lightning, it is a very electric storm into southeastern Jackson County. And like I said, it just doesn't look like it's moving anywhere. So that's a huge part of the problem and why there's a flash flood warning for South Mississippi and southeastern Jackson County until 6:15. The tornado warning, there is not one, but we do have that severe thunderstorm warning for pretty much the entire county, with the exception of the western part of the county. But again, it's under that rain, and it is an incredible amount of rain that has fallen. Those showers and storms stretching up in Hurley now, but the Van Cleve area has seen some showers. They're passing through, but again, there's more that's starting to pop up to the west. So you see that thunderstorm along the Jackson County, Harrison County line. That's coming into St. Martin. That will come into Ocean Springs. And again, this is all around that high pressure that's back into Texas. We were watching a lot of activity like this to our east last week. Now it is situated here in South Mississippi. And again, we have seen anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of rain in that area in Jackson County. That's why we have a flash flood warning, and we are having reports. Are we planning on going back to Dave for any time? Because this is a view from our storm tracker, and they are on, it looks like I-10 slowing down. My guess is there's probably a wreck because that happens when we have rainfall. Again, it's very dangerous. This is very heavy rain that's falling, and it is not forgiving. So if you can avoid that area, definitely do. Do not go and try to get pictures in Moss Point. If you are not there, do not go there. Avoid the area. Let the emergency officials do what they have to do. If you are down there and you are listening, say through your app, now is the time too. If you are in Jackson County, make sure you've got your devices charged, you've got your backups charged. We are going to be continuing to see this type of weather as we head through at least the next day or so. We are just in that pattern where it looks like we're going to continue to see thunderstorms moving into South Mississippi, dropping a lot of rainfall, damaging winds, of course. We have seen a confirmed tornado in the city of Moss Point. We have our crew on the ground that is on their way there, and we again are watching thunderstorms here also into parts of Harrison County. And also looking over toward Jackson County, we are seeing some showers and storms as well. We'll continue to keep track of this, but like I said, the tornado warning was allowed to expire. It's a severe thunderstorm warning now, and we have that flash flood warning. Flash flood warning until 6:15, and then we have a severe thunderstorm warning until 4:30, and so that's for a little less than an hour, for about another 50 minutes. And within a thunderstorm, that is the time you have to be aware, because we can see tornadoes pop up out of these very quickly. So make sure you are in the centermost portion of your home, the lowest level, away from windows and doors. And if you can, blankets. If you have a bike helmet on for the kiddos or for yourself, put it on when you are in your safe space. Seek shelter with that. Have pillows and blankets, and that will just help to protect you from some of that flying debris. Like we heard Dave talking to Bruce, he was saying that there was a lot of damage. There are some people trapped. And so hopefully everyone is okay, but we do have that special marine warning now in effect in those waters, but we are seeing, again, we had reports of Moss Point High School having major roof damage. And I believe Dave do you have some more information for us, Dave?
We do over here, Carrie. Thanks so much. We're continuing to monitor the situation. Inevitably, when you have a strong storm system like this, power outages are part of the equation. Joining us right now from Singing River Electric is Amanda Parker. Do we have you, Amanda?
Yes, I'm here.
What is the current situation right now when you're reading Singing River Electric customers and some problems they might be facing in Jackson County?
Okay. Yes, we are aware of the weather. This is terrible weather today, but I know we've been experiencing this for the last several days. Our linemen have been out responding to this for several days. Right now in Jackson County, we have about 715 meters out. We have about 30 in George County, and the majority of all those outages have a crew assigned to them. Although with the wind, I know some of them, they are watching the wind, and it is not safe if they have to get up in a bucket. So they are monitoring that and doing the work they can on the ground as safely as they can. An outage in Gaucher, we have a tree on the line that they're having to remove. We have some wire down in Pascagoula. Of course, with the weather, the ground is wet and the roots of trees are causing them to topple over even if not raining, but with this wind, that's certainly not helping the case.
So, Amanda, how many customers do you have in Jackson County? How many customers are there with Singing River Electric?
In Jackson County, we have just over 55,000 meters.
Wow.
So right now we're about at 1.3% that are out, which, considering the weather, I am thankful for, and it speaks to the, the upkeep and the maintenance of our system.
And this system, even though we saw it building throughout the day, and Carrie's been keeping an eye on it, along with our First Alert weather team, sort of, when it happened, the spontaneous combustion kind of came out of the blue. Was Singing River Electric, were you guys preparing, or were you kind of surprised by the severity of this weather and how quickly it hit?
Over the past few days, with the hail, the lightning, the wind, our linemen have experienced all kinds of different weather, so they are not surprised. The power restoration process is the same, although whether it's broken poles or wire on the ground, their response will be specific to whatever the outage cause is. So they are ready for everything. And for this, of course, we've dealt with tornadoes in the past. They are doing their job 100% as they normally do. And
there's no way of predicting when the situation might be solved, when people might be back online, but just based on your experience and based on what you're aware of with this weather system, any way of kind of forecasting when there might be a restoration of power?
A broken pole is going to take more time to extract, to reset, and then to string the line and put all the equipment on the pole. So if it is a broken pole, that takes more time. Picking up wire will not take as much time, but there are also safety precautions that they have to take. So that takes time as well. So we don't have an estimated time right now, but I can tell you that crews are assigned as I'm looking at the outage map, and that it will be on and they will work until everyone is on. And what's your safety message? We give it all the time here on WLOX News, as our First Alert weather team does. When people encounter, they see downed power lines, I mean, that is just a recipe for disaster. So generally, what advice do you give to people in that regard? Most definitely, stay away from downed power lines. If there is any question as to whether or not the line is live or not, do not go near it, and stay away from the area. Definitely call Singing River Electric or your power provider. And then if there is an emergency or there's something else, of course, they can call local law enforcement to block the street and to take those safety precautions also, so people will stay out of the area. Amanda, good job. We appreciate it, and I hope we can reach out to you and stay in touch as this severe weather continues to unfold in Jackson County. Thanks so much, Amanda. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And let's go back over to Carrie Duncan for the very latest, because this is far from over.
Yeah, it is far from over, and we do have a flash flood warning in effect until 6:15 this evening, severe thunderstorm warning until 4:30. So taking a look at the radar, you'll see all of the heavy rain, and we have already seen upwards of 4 to 8 inches in the past 24 hours. Less than that, really, but we are still seeing, again, severe thunderstorm warning until 4:30, and that flash flood warning, and that will be until 6:15. So looking at that, you've got 6:15, and then the severe thunderstorm warning is until 4:30. The rainfall is coming down, but we've also got frequent and dangerous and deadly lightning. Over 1,600 strikes of lightning just in this red box within the past 15 minutes. And then as far as the winds, we do have some high wind velocities, but most of them, the highest, are offshore. You're looking at, I saw 66 miles an hour just a couple of minutes ago when I was looking. Right now 60, but over land it is not that high. We're looking at 20 to 40 mile per hour wind gust right now. Lightning is not a prerequisite for a severe thunderstorm. Winds have to be in excess of 58 miles per hour, or hail in excess of 1 inch in diameter or bigger. bigger. So that is the criteria. So just because you get even small hail and a lot of lightning, it doesn't necessarily go into the criteria of severe, but we do have that severe thunderstorm warning. Something else sounds like has just popped up. I'm not necessarily seeing anything, but before we are going to take a quick break, but before I see anything, I'm not seeing anything. That must have just been reiterating that the flash flood warning is continuing, and then we are also seeing the severe thunderstorm warning being continued. Flash flood warning also over into Mobile. So eastbound on I-10 is just going to honestly be a nightmare. We've got, see all of the emergency vehicles. I'm looking at this video. You're seeing it with us first. We've got our storm tracker there, and this is where we're in Moss Point, and he is driving down, I'm not sure what road that is, but you can see the fire department. It looks like maybe City Hall. This is downtown. So that's Fire Department 1 in the city of Moss Point. And that's Station 1. And that looks like maybe City Hall. And then going down through there, you can see the puddles that the car is driving through. If you look at the lower right-hand screen, again, a lot of ponding because we've seen a lot of rain in these areas. And the emergency vehicles are out. So they are asking us to ask you to not be going out and trying to look and see what's happening. There's some, of course, standing water, and it's still raining, and it's going to continue raining. So I know our storm tracker is out there. I believe it's Hunter, our photographer, and Jacoby is out there with this to bring us a report and to get some boots on the ground to see what's happening. You can see the trees down, some limbs down from that oak tree. And again, clearly that oak tree has made it through the numerous hurricanes and storms. But again, tornadoes are so quick and really can cause so much damage. You can look, if you look out in the distance, it looks like there are some broken poles and perhaps some trees that are broken off too. Zooming in again on that because, wow, yeah, tornado went right through their power lines. So again, we want to remind everyone, if you see power lines down at any time, do not go near them. You don't know if they're live, and we do not want anyone to pass from that. So if a power line is down, stay as far away from it as possible. And we are continuing to track this. Like I said, severe thunderstorm warning until 4:30, and we have a flash flood warning until 6:15 for South Mississippi. For southeastern Jackson County, we've seen anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of rain. But with the severe thunderstorm warning, a tornado can pop up at any time. Be in your safe space. You want to be in the centermost portion of your home, lowest level of your home, away from windows and doors. If you have a bike helmet, put it on the kiddos. Blankets and pillows will help protect you from any debris should you be hit or your structure be hit by a tornado. So again, we are working to get you more information. We are going to take a quick break. If anything happens, I assure you we will break right back in, but do be warned, and this is your alert, your first alert, that we are still under that severe thunderstorm warning, and out of a severe thunderstorm, a tornado can pop up almost at any moment. So stay weather aware. We are watching it. We will be back on at 4 o'clock, if not before, with an update. So we now return you to regular programming.